lighting up the world, making broken places whole. She leads loud, echoes through the crowd. One voice, one mission, a movement unbound. Where you lead, living love out loud. She leads loud, and she makes heaven proud.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of She Leads Loud. I am the CEO and founder of Bomb Global and Ladies of Leadership. I have an amazing guest today. She was part of my day one. You've seen her in those clips. As we're stepping into 2026, this mom is on a mission to build Izzy's legacy and get people on the registration for the stem cell donor registration, where we are going to make massive noise in 2026 and beyond. She has been doing this for 3 years. She is Marilyn Morales. She is a holistic nurse. She is just an amazing, beautiful soul that is really gearing up to make noise again in 2026. I'm super excited to cross this journey with her and walk this mission through the Izzy's Legacy Inc. nonprofit that I also sit as a board member in communications. And we are, again, going to lead loud. And that's what this show is about. It's about bringing women on here that are ready to have their voice heard and shared throughout the country, throughout the world, and make a difference in everything that we set ourselves to do. So Marilyn Morales is also not just on this mission, but she's part of Ladies of Leadership. She is also part of the Bomb Global team. And like I said, we are gathering everyone on this journey to really see what this mission is about. And we have her here today.
Good morning.
Hola, Marilyn.
Love it. That video actually made me tear up, brought back so many beautiful memories. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you so much for being on here. You are actually our first interviewed guest here on She Leads Loud. I have been hosting this right here on Prospera TV. We are on Roku, YouTube, and all major channels. And I thought it was about time we bring you back on and really share what Izzy Legacy Inc. is all about. What mission are we on? But first, tell us our journey on how this was built.
First of all, I'm honored to be your first guest, just like I was your first lady of leadership. So that's amazing. So the question is about Izzy's legacy or your and my journey together?
No, the journey of first getting into the room before we joined forces. So really just what is your story? What is Izzy's story? We want to make sure that is loud and clear.
I think it's all in one, right? Because my journey began right before the fateful day that we met, right? That many of us met that day to launch what we were about to do in the next now 3 years. At the time, right before you and I met, I was in search of a way to get loud, right? I had learned of a little girl who was searching for a donor. She needed a stem cell transplant. She did not have cancer, but she had a disorder that as she grew would eventually lead to her passing, right? Because her body was not making healthy cells, healthy stem cells, healthy blood cells. So for those that don't understand what stem cells are, they are the mother cells of all the cells in our body, right? And when we're talking about bone marrow, you need your red blood cells. You need your blood, right? In order for every organ in your body to function normally. And so if we have abnormal cells, our bodies cannot do that normally. So this little girl, at the time, I believe she was 12 years old. She was the same age as my youngest, was in search and had been on searching for, I think, almost 6 years. I was shocked to hear it. So, my oldest daughter works for the organization that helps you find your match, NMDP. So she was working with this family and shared this problem that she was having with finding people to join the registry of Latin origin, right? So there is a sense of you have to be of a similar background to the person that you're donating to in order so your body doesn't reject the cells that it receives, right? So I learned that the problem that I had, Izzy, my daughter, who had a rare cancer back in 2007, she was 7 months old when she was diagnosed. Same issue happened with us, where no one in the family was a match for my daughter. So we had that happens to 70% of patients who are searching, right? Who need somebody to donate stem cells. 70% of them don't find that within their own family. So they have to go out and search for a stranger basically to save their lives. That was the case we were in back in 2007 when we began our search for Isabella's donor in order to save my daughter's life. So we're fast forwarding now to this 2022 where I'm learning that the problem that I had so long ago is still a problem today. And I got mad, and I got mad and I said, something's got to change. Somebody's got to do something. And when you look in the mirror and you go, somebody's got to do something, that somebody is you. If you don't take that first step and say, that's me, then who is? You got to stop waiting and you got to start doing. And at that point in my life, I said, I got to start doing it. I got to figure it out, right? I got to figure out. And that's when I was connected to the person who would become yours and my publisher for our first books.
Mhm. Yes, I'm just getting chills on the journey because when you say that you see a disparity, right? And we can complain and we can, be sad and mad and do all these things, but that's not serving us. It's not serving the mission. And you were already tired of being tired. You're like, we need to make some noise. And we get in this room. We enter this space that was totally new to us of networking and, business and books and speaking, but we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, right? We thought we were just going to an event, but this event changed our lives. And let's talk about what it did so that the noise could begin to get louder and louder. So as we enter this room and we go on our journey to writing our first book and launching it, what was the initial mission? Like what were you gaining? What support were you getting? Like what did it do for you entering this room?
First of all, I was overwhelmed. Entering that room. I had never been in a space like that ever. I'm a nurse, been a nurse since I'm 17 years old. So my spaces are smaller, right? And usually surrounded by colleagues of the medical community, right? Nothing like this. I'm completely out of my element here, surrounded by strangers. And so it was under the encouragement of the publisher, Emilio and Daniela Roman, right? So they were like, you have to start getting into these spaces because you have to start speaking about your journey. And that happened to be a competition, right? That event had a big competition that was going on where all of you included, were going to step on a stage and share your story, right? And share this. And I refused to participate in that. After several conversations, and I was like, I'm not doing it because I have no idea what I'm getting myself into. And then I saw all of you sharing your story. And so there's a part of when you're taking action that you have to say it out loud, right? That you have to be able to stand in front of the masses and in front of the strangers and say, this happened to me. I don't want this to happen to you, right? And so the support of those in the room started that day because although I refused to share my story on a stage because I was afraid and I didn't think I was good enough, right? And as I walked around, because one of the activities that they had was that you had to walk around and introduce yourself to people and tell them about why you were there. And I was sharing why I was there. Everybody was like, why aren't you on a stage? Why aren't you talking about this? So the encouragement from those in the room, like your mission is powerful. Yes, you belong in this room. And yes, you belong and you need to share. The same way that you're sharing with us is the same way that you would get on a stage and share it. Was that push that I needed, was that encouragement that I needed. And I have to say that, and I hope I don't get emotional, right? But watching you enter the room with your son was the biggest part for me. And as soon as I saw you and your son, I was fixated on you because I'm like, I'm a mom. And I feel like I'm going to be taking away. How am I going to do this as a mom? And here is a mom walking in with her child. So the message to me was something my mother always said to me. And in Spanish, she would say, Donde no cabe mis hijos, no quepo yo. Where my children cannot go, I will not go. Right? And I was afraid of leaving my children behind. And the message that you gave me was, You don't have to. You don't have to. You bring your family along on the journey. And that was the first nonverbal, right, sign to me that I could do this, that I could do it.
Mm. You said you're not going to get emotional and got me emotional because it was important to me because I had already, leading up to this event, I had already been in a travel club and I had been traveling, trying to build something in my personal development and seeing where leaving my corporate job was going to take me. And when I had this opportunity to speak for the first time, I'm like, he has to see why I'm not home every weekend, what mission I'm on, what I want to do. So it was important to me for him to continue to see that. And, you never know what that does for someone, right? It's going to inspire someone to take action in any way, shape, or form. So when I found out, as some may or may not know, you wrote the foreword to the Me versus Me. And that was the first time I knew that I had that impact, even though we had been working for 3 years. It was just powerful. And I'm glad that, God puts these things on our hearts that we don't know that's going to change someone else's lives. So we're in this room, we're making this impact, we're talking on stages, we're connecting with people, and then the event ends, right? Now we're on a journey to write our book. Through the process, your book, When the Answer is No, you share some of the challenges that you faced through your journey with 9/11, with the loss of Isabella. So kind of tell us just a little bit about just those roadblocks that you had during that journey, because then it leads up to another moment that we shared, right? So tell me the roadblocks, even knowing that you were going to get loud, this is your mission. What are some other things that kind of ran through your mind that almost made you give up?
So, the journey before the book is also important, right? When things happen to you, right? What you do with what happens to you is the important piece, right? And that doesn't happen overnight. Again, you got to remember that she was diagnosed in 2007. She passes in 2008. So we have 1 year of a journey. And I learned many, 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 many lessons in that 1 year, right? And all those lessons that I learned and the journey after, the journey of grief, the journey of coming back to who I was. I talk about being a woman the day before I lose her and being somebody completely different the day I lose her, right? And after that, and realizing that this is not the mother that Isabella knew and loved, right? That, and I felt like I was messing up. I was like, this is not who she knew. This is not who my other kids knew. This is not who my nieces and nephews knew. They lost their aunt. They lost mom. They lost who I was. I lost who I was. And I was struggling to find out who I was. Right. So this journey was a long one, and people need to have grace with themselves as you go through this journey. But don't forget the pieces, right? Because at one point you're going to be on the other side. And yes, you can be on the other side. It's a journey, but you can. So important for me, and that's why the book is titled When the Answer is No, Finding Purpose Through Pain, was when these things happen that feel like a no, right? It's usually something is bigger, better, right? Is meant for you, and not just for you, because your journey is not for you. It is for all those others that are with you on that journey and those that you don't even know, right? Isabella has touched countless lives while she was here, after she was here, and still today. Her story continues to inspire others to do something, right? So it's important, that piece. And so the struggle, once I find out, okay, this is the vehicle that I'm going to use and I'm going to start speaking, because in that room, I will share, not only did I observe you, but I sat down next to a woman who was going to become today is my business partner. On the other side of me was a gentleman, Jose Escobar, right? So Julia Gandy's on one side of me, Jose Escobar's on the other side. I don't know these people, right? He ends up being very important to Izzy's legacy because he gifts us and makes me start Izzy's legacy sooner than, I thought that I could, right? So he gives that push, and we have Jesse Cruz who's talking and who has me in tears speaking and who shows me that, yes, I can get on a stage and yes, I can become an award-winning speaker sharing my journey, right? So all these things. And so we move forward and I still question throughout that journey, right? And even though I'm having all this push and all this support, I am questioning along the way, can I do this? Because I'm struggling with family, I'm struggling with work, I'm struggling with the inner hater, I'm struggling with comments made by people on the outside that make you feel bad about what you're doing because they don't recognize the person who is evolving, right? So you're going to lose people along the way because they don't get it. They don't get it. But the mission is so much bigger than that. That leads to the day where I said I'm giving up because I was caving under the pressure of all those things, of taking time away from my family, of having a job that is 24/7, 7 days a week, right? Listening to the criticisms of others. I was like, I can't do it. I'm giving up. I can't. This is too hard. And I had made a decision to give up. So tell me, what was your side of that fateful night?
My side of that fateful night is, first of all, I was seeing you on the journey, right? I am walking alongside you. I decide, you know what? I'm 40. I'm at the cutoff moment. Let me sign on to the registry. I ordered my kit, got it. I was in my basement office where all the magic happens, and I said, you know what? I'm going to record a video. I'm going to just put something together. And I literally recorded, I was new to TikTok. So I'm like recording sections of what I was doing, opening the kit, panning the envelope, taking out the swabs, recording myself swabbing, packaging it back up. Okay, I said I put a pause. This video is just not done. Just wanted something kind just to show the world how easy it was. I drove it to the mailbox, recording myself, putting it in the mailbox, and boom, the video is done. I said, let me share it. I said, I'm going to share it. And I'm going to speak loud on how important this is and how easy this is. So I did. And then I see a live. I go back on Facebook and I see your live, which I had never seen you go live on anything at that time.
Never.
First time. And when I heard that you were about to give up, and that video, that 1 minute video, moved you to keep going and to move even more on purpose than what you thought of in the beginning. So I knew I had to just continue that journey with you and let you see that, yes, this is possible. Yes, we can make every single second count, and we're going to get people on the registry, and we're going to build Izzy's legacy, and we're going to keep her mission and her name alive. And that was, that just inspired me to keep doing what I do with all our ladies. But that just showed me that when you take the time to really be intentional, whether I had my only motive was, again, to educate and to show, but that's not what God put that on my heart to do. He knew that was going to be the key for Izzy's legacy's mission to never go down. And I will forever be grateful that he planted that on my heart to do. So I thank you for continuing to lead loud.
And that was, when you said I was thinking about giving up, I gave up. Within those seconds, I had given up. I said, you know what? I have to make a decision. And my decision is I'm done. And I'm sitting in a car waiting for my son to get out of school and saying, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not going forward. When I decided to just scroll and saw what you had shared with me, and I'm like, I cannot believe that someone I barely know, because even though we had been, together, this is, remember, that first year, we don't know each other like that. Yet you took the time. I was floored that somebody took the time to do all of that, to put that together, that had me in their heart and mind and Izzy enough to do something like that. Yet all these people that I thought I could count on, I couldn't. Yet here's this stranger, literally, and she gets it, right? I said, and I had always said, if I save one life, then it was all worth it. One person. If I can influence just one person to potentially save a life, then I've done something, because all it took was one person to save mine. One person to say yes to me and my family. One person. And Isabella got her donor and received her transplant, and it was successful. It was whatever it was, right? It was supposed to happen that way, potentially, right? That she suffers from complications of being immune suppressed, and that's how I lose her, versus I lose her from cancer, right? So it was part of her journey, right? But it took one person. That's it. It's just one person, and it meant the world to me forever that I was able to have the time that I had with her, because this man said yes. Right. So that changed everything around. And I was like, I can't give up. I cannot give up. I cannot. I can't let the noise of the outside influence what God has put in my heart to do. Again, not about me. Never was about me. And I think people around you think that this is something. First of all, I was never comfortable being in front of a camera or doing a live or doing any of these things. It was not me. Right. I had to learn to be uncomfortable and do the things in order to get to where we are today, 3 years later, and continuing to make an impact. Not comfortable, not something I wanted. So thank you. Thank you for inspiring Izzy's legacy to continue forward.
You're welcome. You are welcome. We're going to go into a quick commercial break, and we're going to come back with Marilyn, and we are going to share the loud movement that we are anticipating for 2026 and beyond. We'll be right back.
Thank you for watching Prospera TV Network. We hope you're enjoying the show. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Hello. We are back. Another supporter of Izzy's legacy, Yara from BCS. We absolutely love her. Another lady leader just doing amazing things. Marilyn, you said you needed to get loud in 2026. What does that look like, and how can the viewers help support that mission?
So I woke up one day saying, I keep talking about that. My goal is not to make $1 million, but to save 1 million lives. And I was like, I am nowhere near my goal. I was like, so I have to focus on getting donors on this registry. So 2026 is about that. My focus is completely on that. How can you help? If you have an event, and again, the age to donate, right, has now gone down. It was 18 to 40. It is now 18 to 35. That just happened in the last month, right? So the age has gone down. And just to share, it's not discriminatory. It is because it is the best outcome for the patient receiving that transplant, those stem cells. It is the best possible outcome for them. And that's what we want. We want them to have the healthiest cells possible. So science has shown it is between the 18 and 35 age range that the healthiest cells are produced. So we want to give them the best chance at life. So we are targeting that age population. If you're having something that includes people attending of that age range, if you work for a college, if you work with the youth, right? Get in contact with me, right? Invite me to your event so that I can speak and educate those. And I'm telling you right now, no one is safe. I focus on minorities. I focus on the Latino. I focus on the African American, the mixed ethnicity individual, because that's who I am, right? And that's where the biggest disparity exists, but no one is safe. There's no 100% guarantee of anything. So, getting people on that registry, allowing me to educate and allowing me to register them at that event is key for me to start making my goal.
Yes, 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 yes. And you can also tell us the website they can go to if they can't get to the event, but they definitely want to support now and get more information on the organization and the other initiatives we have. Where can they go, love?
Yeah, right there. It's scrolling right on the bottom. Izzy'sLegacyInc.org is a one-stop shop. You learn about about our mission, about our nonprofit, but most importantly, there's a button there that talks about registering, right? And that kit will come to your home. You don't have to leave your house. You don't have to attend an event. It's as easy as getting on there, answering a couple of questions, making sure that you're healthy, right? And once you answer all those questions and set up an account, the kit comes to your house. It's a simple swab of the cheek just to get on this registry and see if you match a searching patient that's out there. You stay on this registry until you're the age of 60, right? So you get on, but you stay there for years to come. So you may not be a match now, but at some point you may become a match to someone. But it is just like your experience, right? It came to your house, you were able to swab, you put it right back in a postage paid envelope and mailed it right back. Easy as that. Very simple.
Yes, and I was also honored to have my son join the registry at our first Izzy's Legacy Gala. And again, just showing that we can do it all together and how easy it is. So that's how we would host an event. We'll have a table. We'll educate everyone on it. There's material on the information, and just tell us quickly what is the procedure? Because sometimes the biggest thing is that people don't understand, like, what happens if you become a match.
Yeah, that's important, right? So it used to be, and I think most people remember, or the older people remember, that back in the day, and of course, at that age range, right, we're looking to our parents, we're looking to our family members to give guidance on should we do this or not. So it's important for people to know that it's not like it used to be. It used to be that it was a surgical procedure. You go under anesthesia. They were going into, you hear bone, marrow, and bone. It's not like that anymore. It's as very simple as donating blood or platelets, right? So you go in, if you're identified, you go for further testing just to make sure that you're healthy, because we want to make sure that you're good in order to move forward. It is a one-day outpatient procedure that you do either at a hospital or a collection center. It is no cost to you at all, right? You get to hang out with some nurses, and it's like I said, it's very similar to giving blood, where it's taken from you. The stem cells are extracted from there, and then the rest of it is given back to you. You go on about your life after that. So it's not hard. There's a lot of information right on that website, right? So if you want to know details, you want to see other patients, the link to NMDP shows you other people's experiences as well.
Amazing. Let's lead loud and save 1 million lives just by joining the registry and seeing how we can continue Izzy's Legacy's mission to not just donate, but also to support families, which is also on there as well through this journey. So it has been absolutely phenomenal, Marilyn, to have you back, to walk this journey with you, to be able to see your vision through each and every day, each and every year, and how it's just elevating on getting this noise out. And we're not waiting to 2026. We're starting right now, because the mission is now. So any final words really quick?
If you have a mission in your heart, get loud, do something about it. The biggest thing is to take action. The days of, oh my God, I wish I could do something, have to change to, God, I am going to do something. Just show me the way. And
let's do it now. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of She Leads Loud. Connect with Marilyn, Izzy'sLegacyInc.org for more information. If you want her on your podcast, definitely connect with her. Let's spread the word. And again, let's save 1 million lives. Have a great one and enjoy your day.
Bye-bye.
This is your prosperity era, where dreams align with grace, abundance flows like rivers.
hope you enjoyed today's show on Prospera TV Network. Make it a point to visit us on YouTube and catch all your favorite shows anytime you want. Interested in hosting a show of your own? Or advertising your business on our network? Contact Elena Rodriguez.